Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Will, and I am back with a new outdoor video, and I'm here outside of the January 2017 version of the Atlanta Record Show. I'm about to go in and let's go ahead and see what we find. Let's check it out. Hey guys, so now I am back home, and I actually wanted to show you what I picked up at the record show earlier today when I was outside in my car right after the show, but I just decided to go back home because the weather looked really bad. It looked like it was going to start storming like crazy, so I just decided to avoid the weather and just go back home straight from the record show. And but anyways, a good record show as usual. I think it's starting to become a more and more common that if you're looking for classic rock records, albums by the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Pink Floyd, you should be able to find a lot of variety and a lot of options. I think most of the vendors specialize pretty much in any kind of classic rock, but if you're like me and you're looking for more newer stuff, alternative, indie rock and punk, the selection is definitely smaller, but either way, I was able to find or to get me a small haul at the record show. I went with a budget of just $50, and I just I stuck to it. I didn't spend any more. I actually spent a little bit less than that, and still I was able to get some good stuff, which I'm gonna show you right now. And starting off with the only LP that I picked up in vinyl was this record right here. It's Linda Ronstadt with "Living in the USA." And I do have this record, but I've never seen it in a picture disc like this one. This is a die cut right here. The cardboard or the other sleeve is cut here in the circle, and this is the actual record, a picture of Linda. A really cool picture of her with roller skates. And in the back you get the lyrics and the credits. And this one is from 1978 on Asylum Records, and I haven't listened to this one, of course, being a picture disc. I don't really expect especially from the 70s, I don't really expect this to sound very good, or the sound quality to be very good, but either way, it's a cool collector's edition of a classic Linda album. And there's the picture disc, and it's the same picture in both sides. And it does say limited edition, but I don't know how many of they pressed out of this ones. If you know, let me know. But I did find it on Discogs, and I didn't say anything about it. I don't think it's really that hard to get, but I didn't have it in my collection, so I'm glad to add it to my Linda Ronstadt collection. And up next, actually that's all. Those are all the LPs that I picked up at the record show. I just picked up a few 7-inch singles and some CDs. And the first 7-inch single is one that I really didn't have. I actually haven't seen it in a while ever. This is Oasis with their single for "Who Feels Love." A really cool picture from the album, a single from the album "Standing on the Shoulders of Giants." A great, underrated album. And this is one of the singles from that album. And the B-side is a song called "One Way Road," which I've never heard of before. But yeah, I have a small collection of Oasis singles, both in vinyl and on CD single. I have a couple of them, and they always put a lot of cool stuff in their singles. Like in this case, they added like a promo postcard where you can send it out and get some information, I guess, about Oasis other releases, and the vinyl itself on black vinyl and custom labels. And this one came out on the year 2000 on Big Brother Recordings. So yeah, pretty cool single. Again, glad to add it to my Oasis collection. A very underrated song, and the whole album, Standing in the Shoulder of Giants, is a great album, which I guess a lot of people didn't like, but I thought it was a pretty solid record. Check it out again, Oasis with "Who Feels Love." Next, I also picked up another 7-inch single. They have a lot of really good vendors there at the record show, where they specialize with on 7-inch singles of any kind of genres and any kind of music. And I was able to pick up a couple of them, and this one is L7. the classic 90s band with their single for Andres. And this one came out on 1994 on Slash Records. As you can see there, it says limited edition, also numbered. I got number 3833. I have no idea how many they pressed out of this ones, but it's a pretty cool single. I'll show you. It came with kind of like a poster, and it's not a small poster. It's actually a pretty decent sized poster with a lot of artwork and pictures from the one of the first L7 albums. There you go. I don't know if you can see the whole thing there. Really cool looking, with the crowd, I guess, in one of their shows. And some of these pictures, if you own the record by L7, I can't remember what it's called, but if you own one of their first records that has this song on it, you will recognize some of those pictures. And in the back, it's actually pretty cool. It has some like news clippings of that relate to something to do with, or have something to do with, some of the members of the band. I don't know if they're real or not, if they're real stories or they're made up or fake. It might be fake news, I don't really know. But it's still pretty cool looking, and I actually don't own any 70s singles that have a poster like in this size in my collection, so very glad to add it. And it came in on color vinyl, which I was surprised about this color vinyl, because there's not that many color vinyl back in the 90s. It's in transparent green with the custom L7 labels. Great looking single. And this one came out on, like I said before, in 1994 on Slash Records. Great music by L7. If you haven't, go ahead and check them out, because they are really cool. Alright, that's actually all the vinyl that I picked up at the record show. I did pick up 3 CDs. And this first one was a recommendation from my friend and a fellow VC member, Dave Splash, on the Dark Stuff. Shout out to Dave's channel. I'll put a link here in the description. He always recommends really good music, and I saw this band, and also in his top 20 albums of 2016, and I saw it out there for really cheap, and of course I picked it up. It's a Giant Dog with their newest album, Pile. And this is a band from Austin, Texas, and this one came out in 2016, last year, on Merch Records. Came in this really cool digipack. It also came in with, speaking of posters, it came in with like a small poster, like a CD-sized poster. I guess it's more of a postcard, I guess, rather than an actual poster. And all the lyrics in the back. Yeah, really good punk rock band out of Austin, Texas. I highly recommend it. I just finished listening to this album, and it is awesome. It kicks ass. High energy, fast-paced punk rock, female vocals. So right up my alley. Check them out if you haven't. This is a Giant Dog with their newest album, Pile. And actually, let's go ahead and check out a short clip from this record. This one's called. This was one of the singles from the album. This one's called "Sleep When Dead." Alright, so that was a Giant Dog with one of their songs from the album Pile, and a highly recommended band if you're into really good punk rock music. This is a band that's really fun to listen to, so make sure that you check them out. As usual, I'll put a link here in the description to all the music that I'm putting here, or that I'm showing you here in this video. Alright, up next, I also picked up a CD by one of my favorite artists. This is actually Frank Black. With or Frank Black and the Catholics. I guess this is his old band from back in the 90s, with his album Pistolero. And this one came out in 1999 on Spin Art Records. Frank Black, of course, is the lead singer of the band the Pixies, and back in the 90s, after he broke up with after the Pixies broke up, he started playing on his own as a solo artist, and every once in a while he will also play with this band, the Catholics. And I do like a lot of his records. I do own a lot of his music on CD. both as a solo artist and as with the Catholics, and it's all good. I actually haven't listened to this one yet. I'm just getting ready to listen to it right now for the first time. But pretty much anything that Frank Black released back in the 90s is really good. In fact, a lot of people say that the music that he's releasing now with the Pixies and since 2014 is very similar to the stuff that he released as a solo artist and with the Catholics on 1999. If you have listened to this, let me know, because he has a lot of records from the 90s that I haven't listened to yet. So let me know what you think about this record, if it's something that you will recommend or not. But I know that I'm gonna like it, because I do love Frank Black's music. All right, up next, and last but not least, this is the last piece of music that I picked up at the record show. And just as a disclaimer, I do have a small collection of CD singles. Believe it or not, I do like CD singles. I don't buy all the CD singles that I see out in the wild, but if it's a band that I really like, or it's something that I like to own a lot of their catalog, I do pick it up on CD single. And this one was one of them. I've never seen this one before in this version. This is Radiohead with Pyramid Song, and it came with the Japanese obi. The little sleeve here that here's the. Let me show you the artwork first. This is the cover. Came on the regular kind of like CD single format with this kind of paper. And in the back, you see some information in Japanese with the track list, and as well as some information about the Radiohead's tour in Japan. And by the way, this one came out in 2001 on Parlophone Records. So I thought it was pretty cool. I do own another version of this same CD single, but I think it's the American version of it. I just thought it was pretty cool that I was able to find it on the Japanese version. And I think this one actually has more songs in the CD itself. There's the CD with the track list. And this single actually could be considered an EP, because it actually has 5 songs in the record, or in the disc. As you can see right here, it has Pyramid Song, Fast Track, as well as The Amazing Sounds of Orgy, Transatlantic Drawl, and Kinetic. I don't think I've listened to those Radiohead songs before, but very cool to own it. I do have a small collection of Radiohead singles on both CD as well as on vinyl. So glad to add it for, I think it was just $4. Some Radiohead songs that I haven't listened to before. But anyways, VC, that's all I have to show you today. I'm very curious to hear what the VC has to say about CD singles, because I've heard completely different sides of the spectrum, where people just don't get CD singles at all, and some people that do like collecting them, and they show their collections. And I'm just very curious to see what people think, or my followers think of CD singles. But anyways, that's all I picked up at the record show. Oh, actually, I forgot. I did pick up one more thing that it's not either a CD or a piece of vinyl. This is actually a poster. And one of the cool things that about the record shows here in Atlanta is that you can actually pick up a lot of things that usually you can get as a promo item if you go to the record store, or to our record store on the right time, basically. So if you miss out on a few things, it's good to go to the record shows, because usually you can pick up a few things that you would like to have as a promo item. And in this case, I picked up this Green Day poster, promo poster of their newest album, Revolution Radio, available on October 7th of 2016. Very cool poster. I did miss out on this one. I did pick the album out when it came out, but I missed out on the poster. I guess the record store that I picked it up didn't have it. And it's a double-sided poster with a cool picture of the band and the singles, I guess, that came out of the album. So yeah, very cool poster. It was really cheap as well. So I guess if you're at the right time at the record store, you might be able to pick one of these ones up for free. But if you miss out, you might as well try the record show. So glad to add it to my Green Day collection. As I guess I might end up putting here or framing this poster and putting it somewhere here in my music room that is already starting to get a little bit crowded here in the walls, but I'm sure I'll find some space for it. But anyways, VC, that's all I have to show you for today. I did pick up a few more things last weekend that I'm probably gonna end up making a different video for that haul. But anyways, VC, thank you very much for watching and take care. Bye bye.